Think about the last thing you did before you fell asleep last night. Or maybe the very first thing you did when you woke up this morning. You reached for it, that plush, oversized pillow. You pulled a heavy micro fleece blanket up to your chin. Or maybe you reached over and stroked the soft velvet fur behind your dog's ears. You felt an instant, unexplainable wave of calm wash over you. We are obsessed with soft things. Velvet couches, fluffy rugs, squishy plushies, the comforting curve of a partner's body. We spend billions of dollars every year just to surround ourselves with textures that yield under our fingertips. But if you step back and look at the brutal, jagged reality of planet Earth, this mindless habit makes absolutely no sense. For 99% of our history, the world was not soft. It was sharp granite and piercing thorns. So why does a soft texture instantly switch off your modern anxiety? Why are our brains fundamentally hardwired to crave the squish? To understand this, we have to break the mirror of modern reality. Your love for soft things isn't just a cute preference. It isn't a lifestyle choice or a comforting habit you picked up in childhood. It is an ancient, deeply embedded survival program. One that doesn't just predate the invention of the bed, or the invention of clothes, or even the existence of agriculture. This craving predates our entire species. Your brain associates hardness with danger and softness with absolute safety. When you touch something soft, you aren't just enjoying a fabric. You are triggering a 30-million-year-old mammalian neural circuit that screams one specific word to your nervous system: survive. Let's travel back 300,000 years ago. The African savanna at midnight. The darkness out here is absolute. It's heavy and terrifying. You don't have claws. You don't have night vision. Out in the tall grass, things with razor-sharp teeth are hunting. If you are a human infant born into this world, your survival rate is abysmally low. If you roll away from the group onto the hard, cold earth, you die of hypothermia. If you wander off into the brush, you become a leopard's midnight snack. So how did Mother Nature ensure you stayed exactly where you belonged? She didn't give you a complex, logical brain. Instead, she gave you a map made of touch. For a primitive primate, hard meant the cold, uncaring ground. Hard meant the rocky ledge you could fall from. Hard meant the teeth of a predator. But soft? Soft was everything. Soft was the thick, warm fur of your mother's chest. Soft was the yielding, pillowy tissue of her breasts, supplying life-saving milk. Soft was the huddle of 20 other hairy, breathing human bodies packed tightly into a cave, keeping the freezing night at bay. Our ancestors didn't have words for emotional security. They had tactile feedback. If it was soft, it meant you were pressed against another living being who would fight to keep you alive. Softness was the biological code for you are safe, you are loved, you are protected. Over millions of years, the individuals who didn't care about soft textures wandered off into the dark and were erased from the gene pool. You are the direct descendant of the babies who clung to the softest thing they could find with a death grip. Now you might think, okay, that sounds like a beautiful story. But is it actually true? Maybe we just like soft things because they feel nice. Well, science decided to test this theory in one of the most striking psychological experiments in human history. In the 1950s, a psychologist named Harry Harlow conducted a famous study with infant rhesus monkeys. He separated these babies from their biological mothers and placed them in cages with two artificial surrogate mothers. The first surrogate was made entirely of harsh, bare metal wire, but she held a bottle of warm milk. She was the sole source of food. The second surrogate was made of soft, plush, warm terry cloth fabric, but she had absolutely no food to offer. If animals only care about basic physical survival, like food and calories, the monkeys should have loved the wire mother, right? But that's not what happened. The infant monkeys chose the soft cloth mother every single time. They would spend up to 18 hours a day clinging, wrapping their tiny bodies around the plush fabric. They only ran over to the wire mother for a few seconds to gulp down milk when they were starving, and then immediately leap back into the arms of the soft, non-feeding mother. Harlow called this contact comfort, and the science goes even deeper. Recent studies published in journals of tactile perception show that when human skin presses against an object with a compliance or squishiness that matches human tissue, our brains instantly release a cocktail of dopamine and oxytocin. We aren't just reacting to a blanket. Our nervous system literally thinks the blanket is a living, breathing human being holding us. So, if the system is so beautiful, where did it all go wrong? Here comes the villain of our story, the modern industrialized world. Over the last 2 centuries, we built a society that is hyper-efficient, hyper-sterile, and completely, utterly hard. We replaced the soft, organic huddle of the tribe with concrete apartments, angular glass desks, and flat metallic smartphone screens. We pride ourselves on independence. We sleep alone in isolated rooms. We sit on ergonomic, rigid plastic chairs for 8 hours a day. We have stripped tactile comfort out of our daily architecture, and your 300,000-year-old brain is paying the price. Because when your skin touches nothing but flat glass, hard plastic, an ancient subconscious alarm bell starts ringing in your primitive subconscious. To your evolutionary programming, a world without softness means you have been abandoned by the tribe. It means you are sitting alone on the cold savanna dirt, vulnerable to predators. This is what evolutionary biologists call a mismatch. Our technology evolved at lightning speed, but our biology is still stuck in the Stone Age. We are starved for touch, drowning in an ocean of hard edges, and we don't even realize why we feel so anxious. So the next time you come home after a brutal, exhausting day in the modern concrete jungle, and you immediately drop your bags, sink into your softest couch, and pull a plush blanket tight around your chest, don't look at it as just a lazy habit. Listen to what your body is actually doing. Your mind isn't broken. Your nervous system isn't weak. You are simply remembering who you are. In a world that demands you be as rigid and unyielding as the concrete you walk on, your love for the soft things is a beautiful, radical act of rebellion. It is your inner ancient child reaching across hundreds of thousands of years of human history, finding a way to feel safe, to feel held, and to finally breathe. You are a creature of the wild, just trying to find a little bit of home in a world of stone. Think about that the next time you get cozy tonight.